put it online for folks who miss. And also want to remind you that if you need them, live transcript, closed captioning is available um, either on the top or bottom of your screen. We don't have any announcements this week, but you can find announcements in your e-bulletin that comes out each week, usually on Thursday. And if you do have announcements that you'd like to share with the congregation, please don't forget to get them to the office by Tuesday of the week that you'd like them announced. And if you are visiting, we hope that you will sign our virtual guest book so that we're able to tell you more about our congregation and also stay in touch and learn a little bit more about you and how we can help you find a place for yourself here in our community. You'll also find a link in your chat for our online order of service, which will tell you a little bit more, maybe now, maybe later, about the readings and the music that we are sharing here this morning. Our theme for this month has been healing. And so I hope that it has been a time for us to think about healing in our own lives, healing in our community, and healing in the larger world. I know that the holidays are often a time for us to think about how and where and why we are coming together. On this Sunday, our last service of the year, it's also a time for looking back and looking forward. Later in the service, we'll be doing a little ritual where we invite you to look back and look forward. And so you might do this with paper and pencil and water if you have those available to you. But if you don't, no need. You can also just do it with your own reflection and using the chat a little. But just forewarned, if you would like to do it with paper and pencil and water, there'll be another invitation later in the service for you to grab those. We begin by lighting our chalice. Now, light our chalice and not set anything on fire. With these words from the Reverend Richard Fuchs, creator of all times and seasons, and of all the seasons of our lives. We gather in this collective virtual space, thankful for the days that have been, even those that have tried our souls, and hopeful for the days that shall be, even those that shall demand of us the best that we have of faith and hope and courage. So we have become one with ourselves and with you and all the seasons to come, from the glad renewal of spring to the summer autumn days of green and gold and yellow, and the shining colors of fruition and harvest, to the wisdom days of winter, where all things wait in patience for the change that shall bring transformation. This first song for us to sing together comes from the First Universalist Church of Yarmouth, The Ceaseless Flow of Endless Time.
The ceaseless flow of endless time, no one can check or stay. Will view the past with no regret. with dismay. The present slips into the past, and dreamlike melts away. The breaking of tomorrow's dawn begins anew today. The past and future ever meet in the eternal now, to make each day a thing complete shall be our New Year vow.
I am going to take a minute to figure out where I am in the order of service. Our first message. So, our first message came to me a few weeks ago. I think most of us are probably familiar with the old story of Chicken Little. Uh, Sometimes it's called Henny Penny. Chicken Little, who runs around telling folks that the sky is falling. It has felt for me a little bit this past year as if the sky is falling. But this for us is a newer retelling of that old story, and I hope that we might find some new messages in it. This is where we've got a few readers who are going to help share the story with us. Once it's on your screen, we're going to look at it. Here we go. And so I think I'm going to turn this over to our narrator.
Chicken Little, the real and totally true tale. Who are you calling little? I'm not little. I'm petite. Little implies young and small. I am not a baby. Babies are easily scared, and I'm not afraid of anything. Bonk. Kent?
Sure. What was that? Hide. Is the coast clear? Nothing looks dangerous.
Chicken Little looked high. Nada. Chicken Little looked low. Nada.
Uh, there must be a reasonable explanation. It's not like the sky is falling. That's ridiculous. Or is it? Hey, sky, are you falling?
Me? I am a blanket of gas held by the pull of gravity. I do not fall.
That sounds like an excuse. Stuff falls from the sky all the time.
Preposterous. Name one single thing.
Well, meteors, stars, rain, snow, hail. Usually you turn white or gray for that stuff. But who knows what you're capable of? Maybe you could start falling at any time.
No, honestly, fine. I'm fine.
Chicken Little, what are you doing?
Just checking in with the sky to make sure it's not falling.
What? The sky is falling?
Hey, wait, I didn't say.
Hey, everybody, the sky is falling. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. Run,
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 run, run.
run. The sky is falling. Run.
This is clucky chaos, utter demonium. And I started it, but how do I stop it?
Chicken Little brought in the fact checker snipes, who were hired, respected, and but the hordes of hens wouldn't stop to listen. Chicken Little tried to corral them into the coop so she could explain, but the chickens refused to be caged.
We're free range. Run for the hills. Pull the fence. The sky is falling.
Things really got out of hand when Chicken Little heard the hens chanting, "Cut the fence, cut the fence."
Okay, first, never run with scissors, but more importantly, you can't cut the fence. There are actual predators out there.
But the sky is falling.
Oh, that's poppycock. Didn't anyone tell you not to believe everything you hear? I just got a bonk on the head and was investigating the source.
Bonk, bonk, ouch. A bonk? Did it hurt? Oh, you poor dear. We'll need a bandage. I got it. I got it. I got ice. Check the pupils for dilation.
Cluck, cluck.
Honestly, I'm fine.
And she was.
See, I told you I wasn't afraid of anything.
May your roots grow deep. May your branches spread far. May you find this world to be a wonderful place where the sky stays where it belongs and make it greater for those who follow. We support the work of this congregation in many ways. And whether we are meeting in person or online, you can still contribute by PayPal or by check. Your financial contributions help to support the ongoing work of this congregation, including worship, religious exploration, and pastoral support. And your generosity is reflected in the ways that we are able to show up in our community for justice and community care. Our Helping Hand Fund provides support to local organizations. Our Minister's Discretionary Fund provides support to individuals in need. Our food pantry is providing immediate food support for people who are experiencing food insecurity. You can contribute now using PayPal with the link in your chat, or you can send a check as always, directed to our post office box with Sunday offering in the memo. While you do that, or simply reflect on how you will do that after the service, Stephen will play a little something for us. This is a time in our community of shared faith when we share our deep joy, sorrow, concerns of our hearts. If you have a joy or concern to share, please unmute yourself and share your name. If you're joining us by phone, you can unmute yourself by pressing *6. And you can also share your joy or concern in the chat to be shared aloud. And if you would like your joy or concern shared beyond this Sunday morning, you can use the link in the chat to share so that you can share with the minister, that's me, so that your joy and concern can be communicated to the rest of the congregation. These words, this prayer, is from the Reverend Samuel Trumbore. I invite you now into a time of gratitude, reflection, renewal, and hope. Each moment of wakefulness has so many gifts that offer energy and delight. Yet too often, they seem unavailable as the weight of our troubles press down on us. The threats to our well-being, real or exaggerated, become captive to rising waters, forceful, murky, threatening, and ominous. Even in moments of great danger, the direction of attention is a choice. Fear can dominate the mind, binding it like a straitjacket. Or love can unbind it and open it to resources and opportunities. The soil of the mind can be watered with kindness. The thorns can be removed one by one to allow another close enough to appreciate the buds ready to flower. Great possibilities await us, even if all we can see is the cliff before us. The grandeur of life, of which we are a part, scatters rainbows in every direction, even as the deluge approaches. Holding reality and possibility together is the holy, hope-filled work of humanity, if we choose it again and again in love. So we are approaching our ritual. Um, and we can do this even if we are separated. And so this is where I am inviting you to, if you want, find some paper, a pencil or a pen, some water. We tried this a few years ago in the meeting house with fire. It was not a failure, and we didn't burn anything down. So if you want to try it with fire, if you have lit a chalice in your space, maybe that. And if you are physically comfortable where you are and can't even think about moving, that is okay too. You can do this with just your body. Here's where we want to think about the past. In the story that we shared earlier, Chicken Little, though they claim they are not afraid of anything, a little scared of something, and that worry and that anxiety spreads. And so, as we think about the year that has passed, the year that is passing, I invite you to call to mind something that you have been afraid of this year. If you have paper, you can write it down on your paper. Call to mind something that you have been afraid of this year. If you want to use a chat, you can type it in your chat, but don't press send yet. Just hold it. And so, what I want to share for myself and for you, for us, is that our fears are real, even in when they seem to not be based in any sense of reality. They are real for us, and we don't have to hold on to them. We don't have to carry them. We can acknowledge our fears and we can let them go. And so I invite you now to, if you can, let it go. If you have water, to drop your paper into the water. If you are using fire, to let your paper burn in the fire. If you are using the chat, to hit send or enter and let your fear go into the chat. If you are just using your body, try to stretch your body open as wide as it can go and let that go. This is an invitation to let go of what you have been afraid of this year. So, also in the story, In the face of Chicken Little's fear and the fear of that whole barnyard, Chicken Little is cared for by the other animals in the barnyard. They are concerned about the bonk. They are worried that Chicken Little may not be okay. And they corral all of their resources to care for that chicken. And so I invite you now to call to mind a time this year when someone has cared for you or when you have cared for someone else. Call to mind a time when someone has cared for you or when you have cared for someone else. And again, if you're using paper, you can write it on your paper. If you're using the chat, you can write it in the chat, but don't press send yet. If you're just using your mind, let it sit in your mind. We are surrounded by care and the capacity for care, for compassion and love. I witness it every day in this community. Even when we are afraid and worried, when there's so much anxiety, even when we are not sure if we are caring in the way that is best or that is most needed, I witness and experience the ways that we are grounded in care for each other, in care for our families, in care for this community. And so, as you are calling to mind a time when you have been cared for or when you have cared for others, I invite you now to let that drift in your water, to let it burn in your flame. That smoke will rise. To let it go in the chat and to experience the ways that our care expands in the world. This reading reflection comes to us from the Reverend Leslie Ahuva Falls. All that we have been separately and all that we will become together is stretched out before and behind us like stars scattered across a canvas of sky. We stand at the precipice, arms locked together like tandem skydivers, working up the courage to jump. Tell me, friends, What have we got to lose? Our fear of failure, our mistrust of our own talents. What have we got to lose? A poverty of the spirit, the lie that we are alone. What wonders await us in the space between the first leap and the moment our feet, our wheels, however we move our bodies across this precious earth, touch down softly on unknown soil. What have we got to lose that we can't replace with some previously unimaginable joy? Blessed is the Spirit of life that has sustained us, enlivened us, and enabled us to reach this moment. May we have courage in our leaping and gratitude in our landing, and share with us the joy of a long and fruitful, our long and fruitful ministry together.
Oh, you're muted, Reverend Kimberly.
I am still muted. We invite you to remain in this room to join us for informal conversation after worship is over. If you're visiting, please do sign our guest book by using the link in your chat. Maybe, possibly. There we go. And if you are visiting for the first time or the 50th time, if you find yourself in agreement with our values, our mission, and principles, if you are warmed by the light of this community, we hope that you will find a home here. Our benediction, as we await the end of the year, comes from the Reverend Erica Hewitt. First comes the waiting. This is the season of endings and beginnings, when the small signs of dawn pierce through the night and something new is born. But first comes the waiting. First comes the lessons of endings and beginnings, the presence of life, the sheltering spirit of love. Grieves with those sweeping up the debris of loss, waits with those who restlessly reach out for change, grants us courage in the night to guard against each other's dreams for this holy, wondrous universe. Grant us, universe unfolding mystery, a sense of your timing. May we loosen our grip on that which does not serve us, leaving behind that which we have outgrown or outworn. Teach us the lessons of beginnings. Remind us that such waitings and endings may be a starting place, a planting of seeds which bring to birth what is ready to be born, something right and just and different, a new song, a deeper relationship, a fuller love in the fullness of time. We extinguish our flame. There are no words on your screen, but many of us know them. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.